Hey y'all, it's Matt with Living in New Braunfels, Texas and the New Home Realty Group. Today I'm going to take a step back a little bit and I'm not going to talk about New Braunfels today, okay? With the market the way it's been right now, it's crap, right? It's a crap housing market because prices are still high. They started going up in, end of 2020, beginning 2021. They were just kind of going nuts, right? People are paying above asking price. It kind of sets a new bar. And now the rates are high. So back then the rates were low. Now the rates are high. So is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? It's freaking neither. It kind of leans a little bit towards the buyer, but for the sellers, like with the rates being so high as they are, for the sellers, it pushes out a lot of buyers. Okay, so a lot of prospective buyers being pushed out. They can't afford what they could afford 2 years ago. For buyers, the rates are high. So again, it pushes a lot of them out. And they have to pay more for the exact same house that they wanted possibly 2 years ago. But there's an alternative, okay? If you're in a position to buy and you really wanted to buy, but you're like, man, I really want the rates to go down, or I kind of want to wait it out, but maybe you had your eyes on a house and you didn't want to lose that, or maybe you really need to make the move. You're making a move between cities, between states. You want to try out this city, you want to try out this particular neighborhood, or you really want this house, but you don't want to have to pay those rates, right? Well, there's an alternative. There's a couple of them out there, but the one I'm going to talk about today is called Home Partners of America. And what they do, it's a lease with a right to purchase. So it's not necessarily rent to own, and I'll touch on that. So keep watching, but it's a lease with a right to purchase. The Reader's Digest version is that Home Partners of America will buy the house and lease it to you. And then when you're in your position to, you buy it from them. Okay, and we're gonna dive into that today. All right, I've had people that have used Home Partners of America before. I've represented them. And in those situations, it wasn't because, hey, we really want this house, we want to buy it. It's because all the rentals that were out there that weren't really desirable. They didn't really want to rent those for one reason or another, all right? So they wanted a different house. And this is really the only way that I represent renters is if you go through this program. And I say that not because I look down on renters or anything, but it's a business thing. My time is valuable, and the rentals, they only pay out like a small amount. I'm talking like $250. So it's not worth all the hours I've got to put into it to work for $250. That's why. So when people ask, hey Matt, do you do rentals? No, I don't. That's why. Okay. It's not because I don't want to help you. It's because it's not beneficial enough, business wise for me. And that's it. But there's this program here. And like I said, if you want to make a move and you want to check out a city, you want to try it out, you want to try out a neighborhood, maybe you really want this house, then this is a good option for you. So what happens is with Home Partners of America, you have to go through their process and to see if you pre-qualify. All right, so what is the lease purchase program? You find the home that's right for you, they buy it, you lease it from them. Here in Texas, you've got 3 years to purchase it. So the first step is applying for approval. That's what you got to do. They've got the free pre-qualification questionnaire to see if you meet the basic applicant criteria. Some of the things they want to check and make sure you have verifiable annual household income of $40,000 a year or more. So this has got to be verifiable income. So you got to have something that's like on a W-2, nothing that's going to be like money under the table. All right, you're getting paid through Venmo, Cash App, things like that. It's got to be verifiable income. If you're self-employed, then you might have to show some tax returns or something, but or a way that you're being paid. But again, verifiable income. Just keep that in mind. Hey guys, I hope you're finding this information useful on this Home Partners of America lease with an option to buy program. If you are, and if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels or thinking about maybe even taking advantage of this program, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever you need to do. All the contact information is in the description below. We'll be able to help you out like we've helped dozens of others. All right, sorry for the interruption. Back to the video. All right, so no open Chapter 7 bankruptcy, no disqualifying criminal history. All right, so if you think that like, oh my gosh, am I gonna meet the criteria? You might have to fill out the application to see. And then a minimum of 45 days, keep this in mind, from date of application to approval, full application approval to move in. So it's not like the traditional home purchase where you put the offer in and roughly about 30 days later or so, then you're gonna be closing on the house. This one takes a little bit longer, keep that in mind. You're gonna get approved, we're gonna go look for a house. We're going to put the offer in, and then it's usually about 45 days after that, when you get to move in, because it's still about a 30-day closing period. But then there's going to be about a 15-day time period after closing to where Home Partners of America and their property management team, they have to go in and they have to get the house ready, and then they're going to give you the move-in date. All right, once you're approved, then you have to find an eligible home, or maybe you've already got one in mind, okay? But you can look on the Home Partners website, we can look on the MLS, you've got to find an eligible home. And there's going to be certain criteria that the home has to meet for different areas that you're in. So we're in the San Antonio metro, it can't be a house that's over $400,000. I'd also know that it can't be on more than 2 acres of land. There's some other criteria in there, whether it's going to be whether it has a pool or not, hot tubs and other structures that are on the land. They've got these check boxes they've got to meet, okay? So it has to be an eligible home, and we can always submit it. So say you go and find one, and we can submit it to them. They'll let us know, yes, this meets all our check boxes. All right, if it meets the check boxes, they're going to send you a resident request form. It's going to have a few things on there like paint. If the paint's in good condition, they're not going to change it. All right, if the carpet's in good condition, they're not going to replace it. But if it's torn up, if it's bad, then yes, they'll take care of it. But hopefully, the houses that we're going to be looking at, they're still good. All right. As far as refrigerators, you as a tenant, you're more than welcome to bring your own. We can always ask the seller to leave it, and if the seller decides not to, which sometimes they don't, then Home Partners of America will provide one. Same thing with the oven or the range. If it's not working, if it's not present, then they're going to provide one. So, because that has to be in there anyway. If the seller ends up taking the washer and dryer, which most of the time they do, then Home Partners of America will purchase them if you don't have them, but those stay with the house, just like the refrigerator does if they end up purchasing that. And then also, you can request that they remove any hot tubs or play sets, say you don't want them, or it's a liability for you, whatnot, they can remove those as well. Okay, you find the house, you're like, yes, this is the one, we submit it to Home Partners of America, they say, yes, it meets all our check boxes, we can buy this house. Then we request it, right? We request them to purchase it, and then I work with them and I'm representing them on purchasing the home, okay? Then we go through that process, Home Partners of America and I'm technically representing them, Home Partners of America, to purchase this home. Still, I'm gonna keep you in the loop, I'm working with you because, I'm representing you also. But then, we go through the purchase process, we do all of that stuff on that end. We're gonna have a close date, and then, they'll also give you a move-in date. And what Home Partners will do, once they approve it, they're going to give you the terms. So they're like, yes, this is going to be our purchase price, and this is what your rent's going to be. This is going to be, so in Texas, you can only rent for up to 3 years. And they're going to tell you, this is going to be the rent for year 1. And the rent goes up 3.75% every year. So this is the rent for year 1, this is the rent for year 2, this is the rent for year 3. And if you wish to purchase the home, it's going to appreciate between 5 to 5.5% every year. So they're going to tell you at the end of year 1, this is what the purchase price is going to be. This is what's going to be at year 2. This is what it's going to be at year 3. Actually, it should be going up like this, right? Because the price is going to go up. But they're going to lay all that out. It's transparent. It's like, hey, this is what the rent is. This is what the price is going to be if you decide to purchase it. Keep in mind, what you pay in rent, all right? What you pay in rent does not go towards the purchase price. It does not. All right, so if you're paying $2,000 a month for rent, that $2,000 a month does not go towards the purchase price. You are leasing it with an option to buy. It's not hidden in there. I'm not trying to trick you. Home Partners of America is not trying to trick you in that. It does not go towards the purchase price, okay? Keep that in mind. And they'll outline all of that, right here and in the paperwork. You're gonna get the paperwork to read over, you're gonna get a contract to sign with them. This is just some of the stuff with the agreement terms, the lease, and the right to purchase. They kind of tell you hey, this was our purchase price right here, $200,000. We had to pay $3,000 in closing costs, $7,000 in make ready and owner work. So now they're going to sell it for around $210,000. Okay, well that's their total cost, not sell it for. And then the right to purchase, like I said, it goes up to right here, 5 to 5.5% every single year. So if they had to buy it for $210,000, then that first year, at the end of the first year, is $225,000, and then it goes up 5 to 5.5%, $231,000, $243,000. This is the cutoff for Texas again. For Texas, it's just for 3 years. You can't go any further. In other states, you can go up to 5. And then, like I said, with the rent, the rent increases 3.75% every single year. So, if your first year's $1,400, then it's going to go up $50. It's going to just keep going up. Again, the cutoff right here, 3 years for Texas. But you're going to know what that purchase price is and what that rent is right away. Okay, it's going to be upfront, and you're in a contract with them. So don't let them try to change that on you. Hopefully they wouldn't. I can't say for certain because it's not my company, right? They're like, oh no, they're not going to change that on you, but they're contractually obligated to sell it to you for that price. And you know what it's going to be. And, whenever you do decide to purchase it, Home Partners of America is not going to finance for you. You've got to have your own traditional financing. I've got, great people that I work with, Wes Cleckley and his team. And I've had, dozens of people, work with them, and I've worked with them myself. But you have to get your own financing. And they're going to outline the terms that, you're not going to renew the lease after a year or 2 years. Then I think you have to give them 60 days notice that you're not going to renew the lease. There's no penalties if you move out. There's no penalties if you decide not to purchase the house. If you do decide to purchase the house, I think that you have to have give them 30 days notice prior to the end of your lease, at least 30 days. That's all going to be outlined in their paperwork, okay? And you might go and look up Home Partners of America, and you're going to see some horror stories out there. I read one when I just Googled it again before I did this, because like I said, I've done this video before, and somebody was like, oh, well, we thought we were going to have this right to purchase it, but they ended up evicting us. Well, they ended up evicting them because they were late on their rent, all right? They're going to have the rules. This is a business. This is a big corporation that owns this stuff. They're going to have their rules, and they're going to stick by them, okay? It's not it's not a small mom and pop, landlord that maybe give you some leeway. They're a business, and all they care about is their business, okay? So keep that in mind. If they say, and they're going to outline it, you have to have the rent paid by the 3rd, and if you don't, then they're going to start the process, or they're not going to take your payment, or whatever it's going to be. They mean it, all right? They mean it. So whatever they say in the contract, stick to it, okay? Don't get raked over the coals or think you're going to get screwed by them because you didn't, follow what you were supposed to do in the contract, okay? So keep that in mind also. But guys, like I said in the beginning, this is a great option if you don't want to pay the high rates right now, or maybe you just want to check something out. Maybe you're like, man, we really had our eyes on this house, but I don't want to pay these rates. Hopefully they're going to come down in the next 2 or 3 years. Hopefully they will, right? Maybe the thing's going to change at the election next year. And the rates will go back down. Hopefully, right? I don't have a crystal ball. Ooh, I can't tell you what the rates are going to be. I have no idea. Geez, I wish they would go down again though, because it's hurting so many of y'all, it sucks. But yeah, it's another option if you want to buy a home, but you don't want to try, pay those rates. You want to try something out, whatever it is, all those things that I've outlined, okay? If this is something that interests you and you're wanting to buy either in New Braunfels or anywhere, honestly, reach out to me. All the contact information is down below. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. If it's not in New Braunfels or in this surrounding area, say you're wanting to look like up in Dallas or anything like that, I'll find you an agent. I'll find you an agent that's well-versed in Home Partners of America and is certified with them, and I can find you somebody. So yeah, but let us know if this is an option good for you. We'd love to be able to help you out. And if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever you need to do. All the contact information is down below. We'll be able to help you out like we've helped dozens of others. Until next time, y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next video.